ਹੈਲੋ ਜੀ, ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ, ਸਲਾਮ ਆਪ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ, ਨਮਸਤੇ। ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਫੇਵਰਿਟ ਚੈਨਲ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਰਿਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ मैं गवनीत कौर इंडिया तो ਤੁਹਾਡੇ लिए लेके आनी है बहुत ही ਵਧੀਆ वीडियोस। हमारे बहुत सारे सब्सक्राइबर्स के हमें मैसेज आते हैं कि आप इंडिया में जो है आप पंजाबी में ही बात करते हैं तो आप हिंदी में भी बात कीजिए। तो मैं दोनों लैंग्वेजेस में बात करती हूँ एंड समटाइम्स इवन आई टॉक इन इंग्लिश ऑल्सो। तो आप सब सब्सक्राइब कीजिए एंड प्लीज स्टे कनेक्टेड। आज की जो वीडियो है हमारे सब्सक्राइबर ने हमें सजेस्ट की थी, इंडिया वर्सेस पाकिस्तान बाय एंड दिस इज द वीडियो। जब एक फॉरेनर की वीडियो है जिन्होंने दोनों कंट्रीज को विजिट किया और उसके बाद उन्होंने ये वीडियो बनाई है अपने एक्सपीरियंस के ऊपर। तो मैंने जो लास्ट वीडियो एक बार डाली थी व्हाट लाइक इंडियन कॉमन मैन वर्सेस पाकिस्तानी कॉमन मैन, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਲਾਈਕ ਕੀਤਾ ਉਸ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਨੂੰ, ਬਹੁਤ ਪਿਆਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਇਹ ਕਮੈਂਟ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰਿਕੁਐਸਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸੋ ਲੈਟਸ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਦ ਵੀਡੀਓ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸੋ ਕੀ ਹਾਲ ਚਾਲ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਉਧਰ ਦਾ, ਕਿਧਰ ਦਾ ਮੌਸਮ ਹੈ? ਇੱਥੇ ਹੁਣ ਕਾਫੀ ਠੰਡ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। चलो वीडियो देखते हैं।
Versus Pakistan, I have travelled both countries extensively over the past 1 year, and in this video I'm going to be answering your questions truthfully and honestly about my experience travelling in both nations. So let's get started. Question number 1. What were the biggest misconceptions you had before visiting each country? I've just left Pakistan, so I will start there. I'm sure it's not a surprise that in the West, Pakistan unfortunately is portrayed as a very dangerous country, so that was on my mind when I arrived in Karachi. I was there for quite a while and at no point I ever felt unsafe. I can only speak as a solo male traveller, so maybe it's a bit different if you're a female, but honestly the locals in Pakistan made me feel so welcome and I never felt in danger or unsafe at any point during my trip. So if you've got a trip coming up to Pakistan, don't worry about the danger aspect of it. It is completely safe and you must ignore the media in the West. Moving on to India, and the biggest misconception I had was about food poisoning. I genuinely thought I was going to be sick for my entire trip in India, but that was not the case. Online right now, India does not have the best reputation for hygiene, especially with street vendors. However, I honestly ate from street vendors like every single day during my trip and I didn't get sick once. The only time I got sick was in the 5-star hotel in Kolkata. I uploaded a vlog from that hotel documenting my entire experience, and I think it was because I ate some like dodgy fish or chicken at the buffet which was sitting out for a long time. But so I ate street food every single day and I felt absolutely fine. So if you're worried about getting sick in India, yes, you do have to be careful, especially with the water. I think that is where most, sickness comes from. But in terms of the street food, absolutely fine, no problems at all. And the street food, most of it was absolutely delicious. Question number 2. What do India and Pakistan each do better than the other?
Interesting question.
I'll start with India. India is the most diverse country I've ever been to in my life. It is absolutely massive and it's genuinely like 20 countries in one. You move one city to the next and it's completely different. The language changes. Actually, I was not aware of that. I was trying to learn some Hindi. I got my ek down. Then you move to the next city and they don't understand what ek means. It's very, very different between like Kolkata to Delhi to Mumbai. So be aware of that if you want to travel India. For me, it's fantastic because as I said, it's like so many countries in one. And it's not just the language that's different every time you move city, it's also the food. Every city has its own cuisine, which is a little bit different from Pakistan, as when you move around Pakistan, the street food in particular is quite similar, especially between Karachi and Lahore. But comparing like Delhi and Mumbai, the street food is completely different. In terms of Pakistan definitely edges it on hospitality. I cannot describe how hospitality the number one are in Pakistan. It is mind-blowing at times and the generosity is something I've never experienced anywhere in the world. I would say 50% of taxi rides that I took in Pakistan, the driver would refuse my money. I would pay regardless and then shut the door and run away. But honestly, like, imagine being a taxi driver and not taking money from a foreigner. Wow. Crazy. So yeah, Pakistan. And that is the perfect segment to the next question, which is how did the hospitality differ between India and Pakistan? They're very different, if I'm being honest. And from my experience, the biggest difference is when somebody walks up to you on the street in either country. In India, usually they're after your money. They always have a little story to tell about their family and how they need money, or they have a clipboard
This is such a poor thing in India.
wanting a signature donation to a mosque or something, or they want to ask where you're from and then lead you down an alleyway to their shop to then get your money. But in Pakistan, every time someone comes up to you, they don't want your money. That's the biggest difference. They genuinely want to have a conversation. Where you're from, how's your experience in Pakistan, where are you going next? So that definitely affects your experience in each country.
What
you're always on
create
edge
Pakistani
and you're not
लोग
as
ना?
like open to conversations in India because you genuinely just think people are going to scam you most of the time. I know
I'm really sorry
90%
about
of the
this.
time they don't want your money. However, because of those 10%, you're like not having the conversations, or you're not as open to meeting new people in India as
Exactly,
you are
you get
in
scared,
Pakistan,
no?
which
After
is
those,
a
all
shame.
those
I
scams
did
and all.
meet great people in India, especially at like viewpoints or tourist attractions, especially in Kerala, in Munnar. A lot of great people I met there. But unfortunately, yeah, you just got to be on edge in India compared to Pakistan. Number 4, what were the most memorable dishes in India and also Pakistan? I will start with Pakistan. The best dish in Pakistan, I had it in Karachi, and it's called nahari. Beef nahari. Oh my days. That is honestly top 5 dishes of
chicken
all
होगा
time.
ना?
Mind-blowingly
कुछ
good.
veg भी मिलता है
Slow
पाकिस्तान
cooked
की, सब
beef
non-veg ही
in like a
मिलता है।
thick gravy.
मतलब मैं
Take the
आवांगी तो
naan
मैंने
and
की
you grab a
खिलाओगे,
piece
मैं
of
non-veg
beef.
नहीं खाऊंगी।
Oh, so good, so affordable. And I went to the best place in town. It was called Zahid Nahari, nearly forgot the name of the place there, and it was absolutely packed full of locals. The staff were so nice, very attentive, and yeah, 10 out of 10. Unbelievably good. India, the best dish I had was jalebi in Delhi. I went to a famous spot.
My favorite,
on
samosa
Chandni
and
Chowk,
jalebi,
one of the
yeah.
famous roads in Delhi.
कोई
Very,
match
very
ही नहीं है।
busy. It was packed full of locals. Fresh jalebi with like a rabri sauce. It was 100 rupees for a jalebi, which was very, very expensive for India. But honestly,
It's
oh my
not
days.
100 rupees for
So
jalebi.
good. Melts in your mouth. So like
Loot liya.
caramelly, toffee-like, gooey. I ate it on the street. I actually didn't post it on YouTube. I posted it on TikTok and Instagram, but I'll put it on the screen here so you can watch it. Oh, so good. I'll try and put the location to that place in the description below because do not miss it if you go to Delhi. It is so tasty. Number 5, a bit of a controversial one. Which country has the best chai and why? I cannot describe my love for chai. I went into the subcontinent
chai
not
bhi
really
peende?
liking tea. I don't drink tea at home in the UK, but wow. India and Pakistani chai is out of this world. It is so good.
चाय ते
and
जींदे ने
I
इत्थे
already miss
इंडिया और
it since
पाकिस्तान दे
leaving.
लोग।
But the biggest
चाय ते main
difference
हैगी।
between the chais is how it's served. In India, it's always in a very small paper cup, usually for 10 rupees, so like 12 cent. Incredibly affordable, quick, easy on the go. You can knock it down and get on with your day. But Pakistan, usually they serve it in a glass cup, and I prefer
This
a glass
massive
cup.
cup?
It's a little bit bigger, a little bit more expensive, usually like maybe 30 cent or 20 cent. But yeah, I prefer it in a glass cup. So I'm going to edge Pakistan over India for how they present the chai, but I would say the taste, honestly, as a chai rookie, it's the same. They're both amazing. Question number 6. What's the best food city in each country? I will start with India. So in India, I visited Kolkata, Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, Chennai, Hyderabad, and also Kochi. And I enjoyed the food the most in Bengaluru, or Bangalore as it used to be called. And the reason for
I
that
love
is
Delhi's
because of the
food. Delhi
breakfast
the food बहुत
culture. Dosas and idlis with filtered coffee for breakfast, out of this world. I had dosas in many cities, and they're always like soggy. In Mumbai,
Yeah.
I had them in Delhi, and they're just not as good as the dosas in South
Bangalore,
India. The
like
Chennai
South
ones
India
were
is
good,
famous
but
for
I think the
dosas.
Bengaluru ones top it, and for that reason, for me, Bengaluru has the best food in India. The dosas, they're like glass. They're so crispy. You can stuff them with anything.
Indeed, it
fillings,
is.
and the idlis like melt in your mouth.
Ooh, wow.
I'd kill for one right now. So good. Moving on to Pakistan. I only visited like 3 cities in Pakistan, and for me, I know Lahore is dubbed as having the best food in Pakistan, but I had a better experience and I found the food tastier in Karachi. And I think that is probably because the nahari was so good. But the food in Lahore was amazing.
Nahari di wajah na
I spent more
Karachi
time in
de
Karachi
fan
than
ho gaye
Lahore.
ne.
Maybe that is why I enjoyed it more. But for me, the Karachi food just tops it in Pakistan. Question number 7. Which country has the better breakfast culture? I think that is an obvious one. I've already mentioned my love for the Bengaluru breakfast culture, so I'm going to say India for this
Filter
one.
coffee ke saath
I
jo
did
idli
enjoy
dosa
the
milta hai.
halwa puri in Lahore. Very, very tasty. A big fluffy puri. You've got your chana or chena on the side, the chickpea curry.
Chana
You get a bit
bhatura,
of
that
halwa, which is
India
like a
chini
sweet
hai.
semolina. Mix it together. Very, very tasty. And I also had some chena in Karachi, but the dosas and the idli in Bengaluru in the south of India, 10 out of 10. So good. So yeah, I'm going to take India over Pakistan for breakfast. Question number 8, and another food one. Which country has the better desserts or sweets? Oh, that is a tough one to answer because they're both so good. The best sweet I had over both countries was in Lahore, and it was a hot gulab jamun. I posted it on my short form channels on Instagram and TikTok, and I'll put it on the screen now. Oh my days. It was incredible, an easy 10 out of 10 just from a normal like street vendor. He had like the whole pan being hit up by charcoal and it like melted in my mouth. It was the first time I ever had a hot gulab jamun, and that'll live with me for a long time. However, overall, India has more variety in their desserts. Bigger country, each city has their own desserts, especially Kolkata. A lot of great sweets in Kolkata. The sandesh I really enjoyed. So I'm going to take India over Pakistan for the variety and the different sweets on offer. But the best sweet I had was 100% in Lahore. Question number 9. How did transport and getting around compare? I will start with India. In India, day to day, I was using Uber. Obviously, I use Uber in the West, so I'm very familiar with the interface. So that was very easy to use in pretty much every city I travel to. It's easy to book one on the street. You can book a car or you can book an auto rickshaw, and they literally arrive in seconds.
Transportation is quite easy in
India. Pretty much every airport I arrived to, I walked out, got an Uber, and then got to my hotel pretty quickly. The best thing about using Uber in India is there's no scams. You put in your destination and they take you straight there. However, something to be wary of is that in some cities, auto rickshaws are cash only, so you do need money to pay them at the end of the journey. When I arrived in Pakistan, I immediately had an issue with booking a taxi. I thought the locals used an app called Careem. However, I think that's out of action now, and they actually use one called InDrive. Once I got InDrive set up, it was very straightforward to book motorbikes, auto rickshaws, and taxis, and again, it's very affordable. I did take a few domestic flights in Pakistan, and most of them were great. However, I did get stranded in Skardu for 3 days because of how unpredictable the weather is up there. Domestic flights in India are fantastic. I had no issues at all with any of them. Both flights were cheap, efficient, and on time, so yeah, no complaints there. Okay, moving on to question number 10. Which place is easier for beginner travelers and why? India edges it just because of how vast the transport network is. India is also a little bit easier than Pakistan due to the information online. India is a very well-trodden path. A lot of blog posts, a lot of YouTube videos showing you how to do stuff. Pakistan is still very raw. They're still like growing their tourism industry, and you will very rarely see a foreign tourist when traveling Pakistan. So it really depends on what you're after in terms of your travel experience. But yeah, India is easier, Pakistan a little bit trickier. Question number 11. Based on your experience, which country feels more developed? This is based on the cities I visited and what I did in those cities. I feel India is slightly more developed than Pakistan, especially in cities such as Mumbai, Bengaluru, and Hyderabad.
These all
Some
are
areas in those cities with the skyscrapers honestly feel like a different country at times. They feel like countries in the West, and yeah, they're very modern. Most of the cities in India also have very good and very efficient metro systems, especially Delhi, Mumbai, and Hyderabad. I used metros in all three of those cities and I was pleasantly surprised. They were clean, they were efficient, and the only thing I didn't like was the pushing on the metro. As soon as the doors opened, oh my
you can't
God,
help
let
it
me
out.
off. Just stand to the side. But no, they all come on and push. That's the only thing I didn't like. But apart from that, the metros in India are very good. I do believe Lahore has a metro which is also efficient, but I didn't get to use it. And there's also like a line in Islamabad that connects Islamabad to Rawalpindi. Didn't use that either, so I cannot comment. But there are metros and like transport systems in Pakistan as well. But I did feel Karachi is definitely missing public transport that's efficient. I had no idea where the bus was going. Maybe that's a Google Maps issue or something, but I just found it way easier to take public transport in India. Another thing I noticed is the payment systems in each country. Pakistan is still very cash heavy. I do think they've got a few QR code payment
India
systems
is more
in place,
digitalized
but
now.
in India it's honestly on another level. The locals pay by QR code, even with
every
like
street
tiny
vendor
little
also had
vendors
that
in the
QR
back
code.
streets of
So you
every
can
single
just pay
city.
online.
And I do think India is moving towards being completely cashless pretty soon. Unfortunately, as a foreigner, you cannot access these QR code payments. So I'm still taking cash out in each country, but hopefully in the future, India will sort that out. And also Pakistan for foreigners to sign up to a local bank, or can I link my international card to GPay and pay by QR code. That would honestly be a game changer going forward. Question number 12, and probably the most requested question on my Instagram. Which country feels cleaner in day-to-day travel? This, for me, is quite an easy one, and based on my experience, I felt Pakistan was cleaner than India. The streets are cleaner, there's less trash on the ground, especially in Islamabad. Absolutely spotless. Everywhere you look, there's people cleaning the streets, there's nobody throwing trash. The hygiene of street food vendors also differed quite a lot. I did feel the hygiene was better in Pakistan. The stalls where they were selling the food were usually wiped down. Sometimes they were using tongs to pick things up. But in India, it was quite different. A lot of the times there was a lot of flies all over the food, which obviously isn't that hygienic. And pretty much every time they would use their hands to pick up the item and then hand it to me. Also in India, spitting is it a part of the culture? I've no idea, but it's ingrained in the locals there, unfortunately. You're literally walking behind someone in the street and they go, it's just horrible. You've got to step over it or walk around it.
Gosh, this is horrible.
Any of you guys are watching this video, please don't do that in your own country. Number 13, what could each country improve to make tourism even better?
Suggestions, please.
Good question. Okay, starting with India, I've got 3 things here. I've actually already mentioned one, and the first one is the QR code payment system. Please, somebody figure out a way to let a foreigner use the QR codes in India. It also takes away the no cash scam. This happened so many times when you book like Ubers or you're paying for street food. The amount of times somebody has no change. Like, come on, you're an Uber driver that only takes cash. How have you got no change? You clearly do have change. So having the QR code payment system would solve that problem. I also have no idea how India would solve this problem. However, the honking is out of control and it honestly gives you a headache, especially in the north, in like Delhi, Kolkata, crazy cities. Why are they honking? There's no need to honk. If everyone just stops honking, India would be a much nicer place to travel. But honestly, I have no idea how to fix that. So if anyone has any suggestions, please leave them in the comments down below. And the big one for India I would like to see is just to be less scams all over the country, especially in the north, in Delhi. Connaught Place, there are so many scams happening around that area. I don't know what the solution is, but it's a serious problem that needs to be sorted out. The one thing I would like to see in Pakistan improved is how easy it is for a foreigner to take out cash. No local will know how hard it is, but if there are any foreigners watching this video that have been to Pakistan, you will know it's very difficult to withdraw cash from an ATM. There are many, many banks in Pakistan, many ATMs, however, 95% of them do not accept international cards. The only one that worked for me was Standard Chartered, and I would have to take a taxi to that ATM to take money out, which is very, very annoying when you're traveling in any country. The infrastructure between cities in Pakistan is also something I'd like to see improved. It's a bit of a no-brainer, to be honest, to take a flight between Karachi and Lahore. If they brought in a faster train, that would be more appealing. And also, the roads between these cities are not amazing. Bus journeys and taxi journeys take a very long time. As I've already mentioned, Pakistan is very cash heavy, so I'd like to see a move toward QR code payments.
Yes.
And also, the north of Pakistan is very, very popular, especially with people on YouTube vlogging the flight to Skardu. I think Pakistan should promote other areas of the country. There must be great places to see, things to do. So yeah, I'd like to see the tourism board put more money
Exactly. So
into
they
other
need to work
regions
on
in
to
Pakistan. Okay, I think that will do it for this video.
ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਵੇਖੀਏ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਫੋਰਨ ਟਰੈਵਲਰ ਨੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਔਰ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੋਨੋਂ ਟਰੈਵਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਔਰ ਫਿਰ ਜੈਨੂਇਨ ਕੁਐਸਚਨਸ ਦੇ ਆਨਸਰ ਕੀਤੇ ਦੋਨੋਂ ਕੰਟਰੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਪੇਅਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਅੱਛਾ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕੈਸ਼ਲੈਸ ਇਕਨੋਮੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਵੇਂ ਹੀ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੀ ਹਸਪਿਟੈਲਿਟੀ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੀ ਨਿਹਾਰੀ ਜੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਅੱਛੀ ਲੱਗੀ ਕਲੀਨਲੀਨੈਸ ਬਹੁਤ ਅੱਛੀ ਲੱਗੀ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕੰਪੈਰੀਜ਼ਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਦੀ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਬਹੁਤ ਅੱਗੇ ਕਦੀ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਅੱਛੀ ਲੱਗੀ ਕੰਪੈਰੀਟਿਵ ਕਾਈਂਡ ਆਫ ਅ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਲੱਗੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਰਿਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਕਮੈਂਟਸ 'ਚ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਅਗਰ ਪਸੰਦ ਆਈ ਤਾਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਲਾਈਕ ਕਰੋ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰੋ ਚੈਨਲ ਨੂੰ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਕਰਨਾ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਭੁੱਲਣਾ ਜੀ